Hi, my name is Cecilia Escobedo, and today you're going to be learning about moon phases. You will be able to identify the moon phases. You'll be able to understand how the phases of the moon relate to the position of the moon relative to the sun and the earth. You will also be able to understand why we always see the same side of the moon and what rotation and revolution have to do with it. Sky objects have properties, locations, and movements that can be described. Objects in the sky have patterns of movement, and most objects in the sky are in regular and predictable motion. The student's goal, which is your goal, you will be asked to identify the moon phases at the end of the lesson. You'll be able to identify and illustrate the phases of the moon in subsequential order. The prerequisites for this would be to understand that the moon rotates and revolves around the earth at approximately the same rate at all times. The moon doesn't light up on its own. It is lit up by the sun. I did provide a couple of useful links that you'll be able to look at and explore, just so you can see and explore on your own. First of all, the lead-in activity, I will show you, I'll be able to show you the moon, and you'll be able to see where the astronauts did land and where the American flag was also planted. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so I did go ahead and pull up www.google.com/moon/. This is where Apollo landed, Apollo 11. It was launched the 16th of July in 1969. It landed on the moon the 20th of July. This just shows where exactly it was on the moon, as well as I also wanted to show our flag that was actually on the moon. Now, how cool is that, right? So, of course, I did send you an email. You can always go back and look at this on your own. I just thought it was interesting to, show that we did go to the moon. So, there's been people on the moon. There's information on there that you could also look at. It tells about the Apollo, about our flag, just about everything that has to do with us going to the moon. So make sure you do go back and look at that, but I did just want to show you that. I thought it was pretty awesome. Okay, so I did provide a diagram explanation, which is here behind me. It just is an illustration to help you see the moon phases and exactly where they are and how they look. I did send it in the email as well, so you can definitely go back and look at it and print it out and look at it yourself. The sunlight is shown coming in from the right. The earth, of course, is at the center of the diagram. The moon is shown at 8 key stages, which is all around. The dotted line from the earth to the moon represents your line of sight when looking at the moon, to help you visualize how the moon would appear at that point in the cycle. You can look at the larger moon image. This means for the waning gibbous, third quarter, and waning crescent phases, you have mentally turned yourself upside down. When you do this, you'll see that the illuminated portion is on your left, just as you see in the large image. One important thing to notice is that exactly one half of the moon is always illuminated by the sun. Of course, that's, logical, but you do need to visualize it in order to understand the phases. We see both the sunlit portion and the unshadowed portion, and that creates the various moon phases that we're familiar with. So I'm just going to go ahead and go on and explain a little bit about the moon phases. It's probably easiest to understand the moon cycle in this order, which is new moon and the full moon, first quarter and third quarter, and phases in between, as shown in the diagram. The new moon occurs when the moon is positioned between the earth and the sun. The three objects are in approximate alignment. The entire illuminated portion of the moon is on the backside of the moon, and that is the half that we can't see. At a full moon, the Earth, the moon, and the sun are in approximate alignment, just as the new moon. But the moon is on the opposite side of the Earth, so the entire sunlit part of the moon is facing us. The shadowed portion is entirely hidden from us. The first quarter and third quarter moons, they are often called half moon. They happen when the moon is at a 90-degree angle with respect to the Earth and the sun. So we are seeing exactly half of the moon illuminated and half in shadow. Once you understand those 4 key moon phases, then the phases should be fairly easy. An easy way to remember and understand those between lunar phases is by breaking out and defining the 4 words, which are crescent, gibbous, waxing, and waning. The word crescent refers to the phases where the moon is less than half illuminated. The word gibbous refers to the phases where the moon is more than half illuminated. Waxing essentially means it's growing or expanding, illuminating, and waning means shrinking. So after the new moon, the sunlit portion is increasing but less than half, so it's waxing crescent. After the first quarter, the sunlit portion is still increasing, but now it's more than half, so it is a waxing gibbous. After the full moon, which is the maximum illumination, the light continually decreases, so the waning gibbous phase occurs next. Following the third quarter is a waning crescent, which wanes until the light is completely gone, a new moon. You may have personally observed that the moon does go through a complete moon phase cycle. That is true, but it doesn't take exactly a month. It does take about 29.53 and so days. It's the time required for the moon to move to the same position. If you were to view the moon cycling from the Earth outside of our solar system, the time required would actually be less than that. It would be roughly about 27 days. So, just look at the diagram, explore it. I've also provided you with a couple of websites that you can go and explore on your own, so I can go ahead and show you those. Give me just 1 second. The last thing I did want to mention was that I did send you an email. I did provide the website so that you can go and explore yourself, which is this one. It's a pretty cool website. You can just look through it and get familiar with the moon phases. You can also go back to the google.com/moon website and just look at it yourself and look at all the pictures and the information about Apollo and how we landed on the moon. But you also do have to print off the worksheet and the assessment, which the worksheet you will have to fill in the blanks for each moon phase. Just give a brief description of each. And last but not least, you will have to complete the assessment. It's only 4 questions, so it shouldn't take long. Just make sure to go back and look at your resources, look through the websites, and once you're done with the assessment, then that should be it. Good luck on finishing your homework and your assessments, and I know you'll do great.